shall we begin?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, boys and girls, it's time for Jerry's Outdoor Show. Heard exclusively right here on AM 860, FM 95.1, KWPC, the voice of Muscatine. Powered by Indian Creek Lure Company, the Sicilian Pizzeria, Mitchell Arms and Ammo, Pierce Custom Rods, Tailwater Marine, Deaf Guy Taxidermy, and RB's Outback Bait and Tackle. Like Jerry's Outdoor Show on Facebook. Jerry, our rods and reels are ready. Let's go fishing.
Well, it's a good Friday morning. It's a great Friday morning out there. My good friend Tim Scott is here. My good friend Lonnie Ford is here. And my good buddy RB is on his way. But, usually we hang in limbo every week. Is Randy going to be here? Is Randy not? Well, I know that Randy had some special circumstances going on this morning. His daughter, Randy, went in this morning. She's pregnant. Well, she's no longer pregnant. They did a C-section. Mom and baby are fine, and now Randy's a grandpa 4 times over, and he is just top of the world. Yeah. And so he'll be on, and I'll let him explain all that stuff. But Mom and baby is doing fine, and I say congratulations out there to Randy Brewer Jr. and Trevor Loving. Congratulations. We'll go to your wedding in November, but this is just, I know Randy's just excited. He said, from years of raising 3 girls, by God, I got some boys finally.
There you go.
So Mom and baby are doing well. And on the flip side of it, I knew he was going to be a little late because this is actually Randy's 21st wedding anniversary. So congratulations, Bobby Brewer, for sticking it out for 21 years. The gal deserves it. So he'll be in a little bit later, and he's just excited, and I'll let him give all the details on the names and all this and all that. We do have a little bit of late-breaking Jerry's Outdoor Show news. We had the fish fry coming up, which is next Saturday. At the 24th, was supposed to be at the VFW, but we had a little scheduling conflict. There's actually a wedding that's going to be there, and I thought we had this booked well in advance and all that. And Randy called me up because, we got a little bit of problems. So what's that? And he goes, well, they booked a wedding at the same time. And I said, well, let me do some calling around. Let me do some checking. Because a wedding, if it was anything else, I might have put up a fit or something like that to change it. But being this day and age, people only get married 2 or 3 times, so their first wedding should be special, Yeah. So with that, I talked to my good buddy Fro up there in Wilton, and just consequently enough, he happens to be having his finale for bike night. And I talked to him, I said, Fro, why don't we just combine these 2 events and make it one huge one? He agreed, so everything is the same that I've put on Facebook. It's a catfish fry, $10 clean plate. Hermit Longhorn and the boys are going to play.
You're using clean plates this time?
We're using clean plate. Well, I saved them from the last time, so I flipped them over.
I was going to say, I saw some stuff on the ones last time.
Well, that was your plate. That was your plate because you're a finicky eater.
Okay.
I don't like that. Well, that tastes funny. But other than that, so it's going to be going on at Fro's Pub and Grub up in Wilton, same time, Saturday, September 24th, from 5 till whenever. My advice is get there early.
Yes.
We've got tons of catfish, and now we're adding on a bunch of other people to it with the bikers that are going to be there and just and it's going to be a good crowd. It's going to be a good time. I think I've changed the name of the event now to Bikers and Blue Hairs, and we're all going to get along. Yeah. Now, hopefully the weather's going to work out. If the weather works out, it's going on rain or shine. Don't worry about that. If the weather works out, we're going to get a bunch of tables and stuff like that where we're going to block off the whole street. And you can dine outside or inside. Fro's up there is a pretty nice place. He has a bar on one side, and then he has like a community room on the other side. The other side is where you will eat, and that's where Hermit will be at. If you choose to be inside, if it's raining. If you want to be outside, it's fine. But we've got tons of catfish. I was talking to my good buddy Lonnie Ford this morning. He's put a few more in the bucket. I planned on going out there and putting a few more in the bucket, but brother, I passed over the cedar last night. It looks like she's up.
Yeah, it's up in the bottoms, up in my bottoms, yeah.
I just have a hard time when you say that.
I have a small area there
Right.
that's down below. Yeah, there's
Right.
water
Yeah.
in that.
So I didn't look at the charts. Is it supposed to come up, or is this cresting, or going
I
down?
really don't know because this really kind of surprised me
Okay.
because I had planned on doing a little more
Yeah.
fishing, and evidently they got more rain up north there a week
Right.
ago than what I paid attention to the weather.
Right, I
getting.
didn't. The last time I looked at it, it was coming down, and the next thing I know is like steadily this week is like, man, it's getting closer and closer and closer. And I never did take 10 minutes to look at the graph this morning, but being cedar, it should come down,
Yes.
pretty quickly.
Yep.
So yeah, I wasn't for sure that we got all that up there, but yeah, it's come down the pipe now.
Yes.
Which quite traversely last weekend when I went fishing. I decided to go up through that Terry Trueblood up in Iowa City, if you know where that is. If you take Gilbert off down towards the west, there's what they call the Terry Trueblood Recreational Center. Now,
Yep.
me and my wife have fished there before. There's catfish, there's stripers, there's walleye, there's all this. It is a pretty decent sized pond up there. And the last time I went up there, I took my boat and I had my motor. No problem. So I double checked it. I mean, this was a while ago. So I double checked it before I ran all the way up there on Saturday. It's like, you know what? I want to double check that. So I got on the IowaDNR.com, Terry Trueblood, put it in there. Look now, motor restrictions. None. No motor restrictions. Like, awesome. Cool beans. So all prepared to go up there. Got up there, they got a one of them big red circles with a slash
through.
going through that. No motors allowed. It's like, what? When did this happen? So we ended up having to go over to the res. I was all the way up there. It was like 5 o'clock. It's like, well, I'm not going to drive to McBride now or this or that. So we'll just go to the res. And we went over there to the res. And man, that ramp up there. Gee, brother, you have to back your truck halfway up to the hood to get it to fall off the trailer. It was low. Picked up some few decent catfish up there, but I don't really fish that tailwater west or east or whatever it's called that much, but we were up there when we had to do. But I just don't know what the Terry Trueblood, why they changed it. Well, they probably changed it for all the liberal hippies up there in their kayaks.
Yeah.
That's why they changed it
It's very
around.
possible.
So, but
Yep.
I was just kind of disappointed with the DNR for not updating their website.
Their website, exactly. For people that travel long
Right.
distances like that,
Right.
that's the only communication they've got
Right.
until you, like you say, you pull up to the boat landing.
Right, yeah. It's like, what the heck with it? I mean, because it's a sizable lake. I don't know why they put no motor restriction. I mean, it's not like you're going to be water skiing out there or anything like that, but, just something. Because it's a large one. If you got like a 50-pound thrust, it's going to take you a while to get over to the other side of that, but it is what it is, I guess. So I wish the DNR was more together like the Iowa DOT, because the Iowa DOT is on top of it. And even though that you've been since retired from it, our good friend and philanthropist Tim Scott here, if you follow him on Facebook, he's putting in some sizable concrete at his place. And we talked about the PSI this morning, what kind of re-rod and all this, and he didn't.
Speaking of that, he's calling me right now.
He's calling you right now. Does he want to go live?
No.
No. Yeah. Hey, I'm going to need another couple $1,000 for this.
Yeah, there you go.
So other than that, we'll see if they found a sinkhole when he comes back in, or what the price tag's going to be. So other than that, that's what's going on. How's ducks doing? Did you get out and do some?
Well,
shooting?
I got out once. It's closed now. The early season's
Right.
closed, and then it'll reopen on October 1st. Once I'm done here today, my plan is to do some traveling. I got the Muscatine County plat book with me, and I plan on talking to some farmers and see if I can't get permission to get into their timbers to do a little ginseng hunt.
All right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's coming up.
Yes,
ain't it?
well, it's open
It's
right now.
on.
It
It's
opens
on,
September
right?
1st, yeah.
You know, that's the thing. You know, I lived in Iowa all my life, and what's funny is when you cruise down like them back gravel roads and that, and they're on their equipment, and then you go by, they'll take their hat off, they'll wave at you as friendly as, you know, hey, how you doing? How you doing, buddy? But if you go up there and you knock on that door, hey, I noticed you got some timber back there. You mind if I mushroom? What the hell am I gonna eat? Get the hell out of here! Hey, mind if I fish out? You know, so. Do you find they're approachable?
Well, I'll be honest with you, I don't anticipate, unless the odds are really great, I don't anticipate anybody saying, yes, I can come in and into their timber.
Right.
I mean, I'm going to stop and ask several. I got several marked out that I want to, I've seen just from traveling around and stuff, but it's extremely difficult to get into timbers and
well, this
private
day and
property.
age, people with liability, people want to sue everybody for this and that. I can see why they'd say no. I mean, you're not a long-haired hippie. You're going to go out there and have a beer party or something like that, so you might have a little bit better chance. But the chances are, though, once you tell them what you're doing, they're probably going to want cut in on the action, aren't they?
Well, see, and that's where the misconception is about this, is that this is not a sport, and that's what it is. It's ginseng hunting. It's a DNR sport that you're going to make a living at. I don't care how much. I mean, my dad was an arborist, a laborer for years for tree cutting services, and that's how he found a lot of his. During his lunch breaks and after hours and that kind of stuff, and you can't. It takes so much that you're not going to make a living at it.
Well,
it's strictly going to be, something that you want to do, a hobby type.
Well, we discussed it earlier this season on ginseng. You're averaging. It takes a while just to dig the plant out, correct? Because that's what you said earlier. You have to make sure to get more money out of it.
You want the root completely intact. So that means that you're going to, you have a little rake trowel and a shovel, and you don't want to break them off, is what I'm saying. Yes, you're exactly right. I mean, a big plant will take you a little bit of time to get it dug out properly.
And then you said, well what's the going rate this season?
I don't anticipate it change much because the guy that I dealt with and talked to again, he said the prices are going to range about the same as last year, $450 a pound here in Iowa for the northern ginseng. And this same person also buys furs. And he's still got last year's furs and the year before furs. He said he's got, the market just hasn't come up to sell the furs. So he's not anticipating buying a lot or giving any big dollars for furs this year.
Right. Yeah, if the market's flooded with them, then he can't get rid of what he's got, so he's going to be less apt to, give you top dollar for it if he can't unload it. So And same thing. And you were also saying with the ginseng, you can't sell it to Wisconsin or you can't go across state lines.
You can't go across state lines with it. So there's a guy out of Richland that we deal with or have dealt with years past that comes down to Prairie du Chien into Iowa, and he also buys furs also. And he comes over to the filling stations and local venues over there in Iowa that you can bring your stuff to, your ginseng and your roots and stuff to for purchase.
So you a big trapper too? You like trapping?
I used to trap years ago. My brother was bigger into that than what I was. But this year, if the market ever comes up, because the market's been down, as we talked about, and I have out there at my place, I just have raccoon and beaver and possums. And not that anybody a possum. Well, we used to get $1.50 to $2.50 a possum.
No kidding.
Skinned out. Yeah.
What about rats? What are they getting from muskrat?
Well, I haven't heard. Last I heard, it was around the $4 to $5 mark for rats.
So, heck, that's been the same ever since I was a kid. Then.
Yes. Well, if you were trapping in the mid to late 70s, they really flooded the market.
Yeah.
Really flooded the market back in them days, and it's never recuperated since.
Really?
Yep, it never has. My dad had a dog for years. We did a lot of coon hunting, and those particular, if you had a big boar, that would entice the buyer to look a little harder at your furs.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, they just bring, how many you got? Okay, 250 pelts. I'll give you $40 or $30, and that was high.
Right.
But that was after the fact. We used to get $65 for a big boar coon pelt,
Mm-hmm.
And $65 to $85 for a beaver.
Well, the other thing is, okay, you're selling it to a buyer. Now the buyer's got to sell it off. So where are they selling to? I mean, because I go to Walmart quite a bit, and I don't. Ooh, look, muskrat hats are in. Ooh, look at this. I mean, so
And if you look at the tags on them, most of that's all overseas.
all overseas.
Yep, that's where a majority of the ginseng goes. Is
Right.
overseas.
Well, that's what I'm saying, because in this day and
Don't
age,
a lot of it go in drinks, like different kind of drinks, I think.
And there are starting to get
Sport
some power
power
drinks
drinks,
and
right.
some energy drinks.
Right.
That
are we talking about the pelts, or are we talking about the ginseng now?
Yeah, we're kind of going two different.
Yeah, I was gonna say, man, if I got a hairy Mountain Dew, I'm gonna be bringing it back. But no, what I'm saying is the pelts, because this day and age, our manufacturing being what it is, I mean, they can make anything in a factory that looks just as good or just
Yep.
as durable
Synthetic.
as. I'm just gonna guess at why they want a possum pelt or a muskrat pelt is to make some kind of article of clothing for it. I would think.
Yes.
You know, I mean, I haven't seen a raccoon wallet for a while, but by God, I'll get one if they're
They're
out.
out there. Yeah, there's even market for rabbit fur.
Huh.
Oh, yeah. Heck, when I was a kid, I remember a lot of ladies would have I don't know what you call it, just a wrap that went around your neck, your shoulders there, and, a lot of the older ladies when I was a kid had that. And I think those were rabbit.
Yes,
you
yeah. One of your better quality hats that you can buy, the flap style hats, the ear
Right.
flaps, the better quality ones are made out of rabbit. And they're warmer and more natural, but you can also buy a lot of the synthetic stuff also.
Huh. So fascinating. I just didn't, and then, how much does a guy have to go into by the time you got your traps, running the lines, setting them, this and that. What are they, conifers? They call them conifers, right? Conifers?
Conibear.
Conibear.
Yep.
Conibear traps.
Yep. And there's claw hold traps yet. There again, you're not going to make a living,
Yeah.
at it unless you were like those mountain men that go up in
Right.
the mountains. But
Well, I bet
They
you
don't-
could have in the mid-'70s, so.
yes,
There was so many muskrats. I mean, hell, you couldn't, there's no way you could trap them out.
Yep. When I worked at the state and traveling down the highways in the mornings, like if we was out on a frost run or out on a frost for bridges, freshly killed raccoons and possums, I'd stop and pick them up, throw them in the back of the pickup. Over my lunch hour or at night after work, I'd skin them out. And I had 2 or 3 guys at work doing the same thing.
Huh.
I was getting 4 and 5 raccoon a day,
Wow.
just off a roadkill.
Huh.
And then as that price kept coming up, you see more and more people stopping and grabbing those dead animals.
Fascinating stuff there. I still think I'll stay inside my vehicle. You can have them. But hey, speaking of roadkill, you're on Jerry's Outdoor Show. We got to slide into commercial break, and we're going to be back with our good friend Nigel Phelps from Tailwater Marine. Stay tuned. Hey, don't you go anywhere. We've got more of Jerry's Outdoor Show.
No man alive likes to be called high smelling and low down.
Right here on KWPC AM 860 and FM 95.1.
She said, hello, my name is Bobby Joe. Meet my twin sister Betty Lou.
Are you looking for a reliable taxidermist who does superior work? Here's taxidermist Shannon Spooner telling you in sign language why he's the best around. Oh, we forgot to mention, he's deaf. Deaf Guy Taxidermy in Clinton mounts every type of game imaginable, from deer and coyotes, fish and ducks, you name it, he can mount it.
Text him, please. Don't call 563-613-4411 or send him an email to deafguytaxidermy@icloud.com. Deaf Guy Taxidermy, proud sponsor of Jerry's Outdoor Show. Listen on KWPC Friday mornings at 10 a.m. Shannon wishes he could. Indian Creek Lure Company is your family-owned tackle shop. They carry the finest in bass fishing products. They carry items not found anywhere else. In fact, if they don't have it, you don't need it. Indian Creek Lure Company specializes in the more specialized tackle. Indian Creek also carries Dobbins and Denali fishing rods, as well as their own line of Indian Creek rods. They can help you spec out a custom rod that's the perfect fit for you, and they cater to bass clubs and tournament anglers. Check out their website, IndianCreekLures.com today.
Mitchell Arms and Ammo has moved. Stop by their new location on Park Avenue inside the old Lincoln School. They are still your locally owned gun shop. Owner Troy Mitchell takes his time to find the right firearm to fit your needs. Visit them online today at MitchellArmsandAmmo.com and start searching their inventory. Suppressors will be available in July. They offer online pricing and local pickup. No freight or extra fees. Just add tax and pick up at the store in a few days. And warranties are honored locally too. Call them at 319-212-0239.
Pierce custom rods are handcrafted of the finest materials available and designed to provide the most enjoyable fishing experience imaginable. Each rod features a perfect blend of power, action, and detail customized for the user. If you want the utmost in performance, quality, feel, and appearance from your custom rods, choose Pierce Custom Rods. Search Pierce Custom Rods and like them on Facebook or call 563-299-8645.
And now back to more Jerry's Outdoor Show. If you've missed part of this episode or any other episode, what were you thinking? Give Jerry's Outdoor Show a like on Facebook. Listen to past episodes on iTunes, Podbean, and jerry'sOutdoorshow.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, now the most listened to radio program in eastern Iowa and western Illinois. And here is the most listened to host, the man, the myth, the legend, Jerry.
Wow, that's new. That's new. That's awesome.
I just thought I'd throw that in.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I'm not good at spreading concrete, so
they're over there pouring it right now.
They're pouring it right now. Is that what they called for?
Yeah, I guess it was supposed to rain today, and they said it all went away, so all moved away.
Yeah.
Is that fact or fiction? Your comment there.
He's getting concrete. He's getting concrete.
Yeah,
about him or the concrete?
Hey, anyway, I appreciate the rain endorsement, Tim. We only got 3 shows left, this being the 3rd one.
I kind of lift you up there.
There you go. You are my rainbow cheerleader. Right. Yeah.
I thought you were going to say, did you ever know that you were my hero?
I was going to, but then I'd have to cut the own corner off my man card. But somebody's man card you don't have to cut the corner off is a good sponsor. He came on this year. His name is Nigel Phelps. He owns Tailwater Marines down there, right across from the Key Button down there. He hooked me up with a motor. He is a hell of a mechanic, and he's always busy. That's why we couldn't get him on the show this season, because he's always busy, but he did manage to eke out 20 minutes for us today. How you doing this morning, Nigel?
Great to be here, man. Appreciate it.
Awesome, man. And you just been doing a tremendous season all year long, haven't you, bud?
Oh yeah, I've been open 3 years now, so this is my craziest season yet. I've been, 7 days a week, 12 hours a day. No time for my own fun,
Yeah, but for potential sponsors out there, sponsoring my show, how much word of mouth and business will come your way. But we're not here to talk about that.
Yep.
We're actually here to talk about Nigel Phelps. Like I said, he owns Tailwater Marines down there. He is a heck of a mechanic. He's helped me out on more of a couple occasions. But we're going to put this out here because right now you're running what's called a winterization special. Isn't that correct, Nigel?
Yep.
Okay, for everybody out there listening that might have a concept of what winterization means on a boat, what does that really entail there, Nigel?
Basically what we're doing is checking the motor over, making sure everything is good to go so it can sit all winter and then have no problems come springtime. Mm-hmm. Basically, fuel anymore has a shelf life of 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest thing, is making sure that your fuel system isn't sitting full of that fuel, for it to break down and cause major issues in the future. But yeah, just getting the boat ready to sit.
Right, exactly. So, what I guess the next question is, all right, we're talking about winterization. What's the cost if you don't? I mean, what are the problems are you looking at if you don't winterize your boat?
Well, just to throw a number out there, for a stern drive boat, I had a couple come in this year, springtime. They didn't winterize, and just to replace the engine alone, from cracked water jackets and just basically destroying the engine. Just the engine alone costs about $3,400.
Right.
So, you throw labor on top of that, you're, upwards of, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000.
Right, absolutely. Now, is there a different winterization process between a two-stroke and we have two strokes and we have four strokes? Is there a different process for each of those, or?
For outboards, it's generally the same. All of the cooling passages are vertical, so basically all the water runs out on its own, so there's not a huge issue there. But for the four strokes, I always like to change the oil, the engine oil and filter at the end of every season before we winterize, just to make sure that there's no condensation or anything to cause any real corrosion inside the engine. And of course, on both, I always check the gear case for water and change the gear lube regardless, because I like to change gear lube every year. So
yeah, and Nigel is very thorough. I bought a motor from him, and he went through it all. We had a few little problems, but he took care of it right there on the spot. So yeah, speaking of oil, how often should we be changing our oil in these outboards?
Generally, the manufacturers say every 100 hours or every season,
right?
Depending on how often you're using it, how many hours you're putting on it, and what kind of boater you are. If you're one that runs wide open all the time, obviously you want to change your oil more often than somebody who's just kind of getting to the spot and then trolling along.
Right.
But yeah, I tell people most generally every other season is good enough for around here, because our boating season is kind of short compared to other places, other areas. So.
Hey Nigel, I got a question for you.
Yes.
You said that your water ports, cooling ports on an outboard are running vertical.
Right.
If you have a transom-mounted outboard or larger motor that you're not able to take off of the boat, should you store that in the horizontal upright position?
Yeah.
Or should you leave it stinger down?
What I do is I tell everybody to trim it down as far as you're allowed. If it, you don't want your skeg resting on the ground, obviously.
Sure.
But yeah, definitely trim it all the way down. That way you're preventing any potential water remaining in the exhaust system. And
Skag, now, I didn't know you knew my first girlfriend.
Mine too.
Oh, well.
Who was first, who was second?
Something in common.
I'm going to have a question, because I know Nigel is quite a bit younger than you, Tim, so we're going to have to get...
We're going to have a talk.
We're going to have to figure out the age difference here. But anyway, no, that was one of my questions, too, is for guys like me, I have a smaller outboard, tiller steer on mine.
Yeah.
And it is a 20 horse, and it's manageable by me and somebody else. Say you don't have storage where you're going to store the entire boat. Would you recommend that you do take the motor off the transom and put it on a motor stand and put it in the garage or someplace like that where you have room for that motor?
Definitely. I say if you can hoist it off and take it inside, I'd definitely take it inside, because if you can keep it out of the weather, it's going to increase the longevity of that motor. And not only getting your motor inside, but a lot of people neglect to pull the batteries out of their boat and take them inside. You'll have some people that complain that oh, my battery only lasted 2 seasons. What's going on? Well, if you let that thing sit outside in the cold, and as cold as it's been getting around here in the wintertime, that just totally destroys the battery life. So.
What I normally do with mine, because I have deep cycle batteries, or what they call them AGMs now, the absorptive glass mat, whatever batteries that are out there.
Yeah, the dry cells.
Right. What I usually normally do is when I haul them in, if I'm done for the season, which is usually whenever it freezes up that I can't get anywhere anymore, then I'll haul her in. But I usually set it on I have a what they call a trickle charge.
Yeah.
That basically just sits there and it, whenever it gets a little low. It's only putting in 2 amps, and I've found my batteries to last a lot longer than letting them go completely dead and then start charging them in March.
Yeah, and as cheap as a battery maintainer is versus how expensive batteries are,
right?
It's just cheap insurance to make sure your battery's going to last you.
Oh, no doubt, especially if you're getting up into using them Optima batteries. They go for about $275 a throw there.
Yep.
So anyway, we said, hey, take that motor off, put it in the garage. Now, I've heard this before, and knock on laminate in here, it's never happened to me all the years that I've owned motors, but I know some guys have taken their motors off, put them in the garage, went to put them back on in the spring, and go out there, they lift the hood up, and some mouse had actually got up in there.
Oh, yeah.
And chewed the hell out of everything. Well, what can a guy do to prevent that?
Well, you'd be surprised how often I see that, and for some reason they just love chewing up the wiring, so it gets, expensive in a hurry.
Right.
But what I do generally is, throw some mothballs up underneath the hood there.
Mm-hmm.
That I don't know if it's the smell or what it is that deters them, but I've never had a problem with mice after throwing mothballs. Even the dryer sheets.
Mm-hmm.
The fabric softener sheets, throw them in there, and even for stern drive boats and pleasure boaters and stuff like that. When I winterize them and pull them down to storage, I take 2 boxes of dryer sheets and just throw them everywhere in every little box, dry box, whatever you can think of, and just really keeps them out of there. But the thing that I, like I said, use a lot is the mothballs, and they work really well.
Huh. Well, good to know. Now, how long, and I know I'm painting this with a really white brush because there's all sorts of different boats out there, but how long does it take to winterize a normal boat? If somebody was to bring their boat, what kind of turnaround are you looking at down there?
Well, I'm usually pretty thorough when I'm winterizing a boat. I really check everything over because I don't want, it coming back, for in the springtime, it won't start or anything like that. So usually on an outboard, it takes me about 45 minutes to an hour. And then, it can take more if it's a 4-stroke and I'm changing the oil and stuff like that. But then with your stern drive pleasure boats, it can take, an hour and a half to 2 hours. There again, if we're changing the oil and gear lube and all that stuff. So.
Okay, and what's normal price range,
It really varies depending on where you go. For me, outboards, you're going to run probably around $100.
There's the old 1033 coming by the shop.
Yep.
So anyway, say that again. What'd you say it normally runs?
Usually for an outboard, usually around $100.
Yeah, that ain't bad.
If you want your oil changed, I just charge the cost of the material on top of that.
Wow. That's a lot cheaper than $3,400 in the spring, ain't it, brother?
Definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Well, I imagine that as soon as the weather takes a turn, you're going to get swamped.
Oh, yeah.
Do they need to set up how's the appointments run? Do they just call down, hey, I want to get my boat winterized? Do you put them on an appointment or what?
Yeah, and the good thing about winterizations is they're all the same, Everything, it usually, like I said, takes an hour or two, depending on what you got. So with winterizations, if you make an appointment, I'll drop it off in the morning, pick it up in the afternoon. And it's usually, right now, I'm about a week out. So if you called today, I'd be able to get you in next Friday. And then, it's obviously going to slow down on the service side for me, and then winterizations are going to pick up. So the sooner you can get it in, the better, because you don't want to be, questioning whether or not that freeze that happened last night, affected anything. So.
Right. Hey, Nigel, do you have any indoor storage for off-season storage?
I don't. I have my lot is gated, and I keep it locked, and I'm always down here. So I do have uncovered outdoor storage, and I haven't sat down and got my pricing figured out yet, but I think it's going to be somewhere around $1.50 to $2 per foot per month.
I see.
Awesome.
Got one other question for you. I do a lot of fishing on the Cedar River and drift piles.
Sure.
You sell out anchors?
Yes, I do, yep.
And does that come with insurance? Loss of insurance there?
Yeah, oh yeah.
No, actually, Nigel's got a pretty nice shop down there. If you drove by, I say stop down there, take a look, and a smarter boat mechanic you will not find. But with that, it's like the guy's always working on. How many times did you get out on the river this year, Nigel?
I went out once.
Exactly.
Well, every year we take a trip down to Lake of the Ozarks. The end of August.
You didn't break down, did you?
Oh, of course not. No, we go down there and we boat, 4 days, from sun up till sundown. So I'll sacrifice, helping everybody else out to keep them on the water.
Right.
For my 4 days of fun down there. So.
Right, absolutely. So, the winterization is very important. Get out there, get it done, take care of your stuff. Though we're going to flip gears here and talk about the summer season now. What do you find in the summer is usually your biggest repair or the most frequent repair you have to do for boats?
The most frequent I found this year was fuel issues. A lot of people let them sit all winter, don't get them winterized, and then come in springtime, won't start, and you find, you got some broken down fuel in there. There's that, and then a lot of water pumps. A lot of people running into sand on the cedar and such, and just totally drying the water pumps out and stuff like that. But it's, basic maintenance can prevent stuff like that, checking everything.
Right. So, you said like fuel breaking down and that bad fuel. So we know there's additives out there like sea foam. And do you recommend mixing that in with your gas?
I like using sea foam. I've been using it for years and haven't had an issue with it yet. But I actually just started carrying a new product that's kind of new on the market. It's called Startron. It's an enzyme treatment, and it basically does the same thing as sea foam, but it's extremely concentrated additive. It's 8 ounces here will treat 128 gallons of gas, so it's a lot more concentrated than what the sea foam is. And I've been using that the past couple of years, and it works awesome.
What about that Stable?
I really don't like using Stable.
Okay.
I've seen that, with sea foam, I can put that in the fuel, and you can use that fuel 6 to 8 months later. With Stable, I've 2-3 months is the max I ever got out of that.
Okay.
Right, and see, I hardly ever put any of that stuff in just because I'm fishing about 6 days a week, so I'm always out of fuel. But the thing is, what about inline fuel filters? Like how mine is set up. Do you think that's a good idea or not? I'm just going to tell you why. Is because I've noticed, like, when I get gas from convenience stores around here.
Right.
There's a certain one, if the price goes up on gas, all of a sudden my gas is acting a little funky and everything.
Yeah, price goes up, quality goes down.
Right, exactly. So I wondered if an inline filter could, help that out, or if you recommend that.
Well, generally what's going on is that fuel had been sitting in the underground tank for a while, and then, if you're running ethanol, you're introducing water into that fuel when the alcohol starts separating.
Well, with that said, do you recommend people run ethanol, or would you just pay a little bit more and buy a gas that doesn't have alcohol in it? Because doesn't alcohol eat all the rubber hoses and stuff up?
And that's along the lines with that, putting the filters in there. If you put a water separating filter in there, that'll prevent the water from getting into your engine. As with ethanol, I tell people just don't even run it, because as often as you're using your boat, if you're somebody like me, where my boat went in the water last year and it hasn't even seen the water this year, you're using your car every day, so you're burning all that fuel out. It doesn't have a chance to separate, but you're using your boat, some people every other weekend or so, and that and yes, it can tear up the fuel lines as well.
Just make it brittle, right?
Yeah, what it does is it breaks down the rubber on the inside, and then once that rubber starts breaking down, it plugs up your carbs or injectors or whatever. So.
Yeah.
And that just leads to a happy boat mechanic. Well, let me tell you what's going on here. But no, I mean it. Stop down, see my good friend Nigel down there at Tailwater Marine. A sharper guy. You've heard it. You just heard the last 20 minutes on here. A sharper guy you will not find when it comes to boats in this area. You have I know you're on Facebook there, Nigel. Did you get a website going? I mean, you're too busy to even take a meal once in a while. But did you get a website going for Tailwater yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
Right now, if you go to my website, tailwatermuscatine.com, it just forwards to the Facebook page, and I try to update every week or so. What's going on, what's new in the industry and stuff like that. But yeah, we're trying to get a website going. I just, haven't had time to sit down and.
Not enough hours in the day. A good problem to have sometimes.
Definitely.
All right, Nigel, I appreciate you taking time out this morning with your busy schedule you got going on, and thanks for being a sponsor this year, bud.
Yeah, man, thanks for having me. I appreciate it very much.
No problem. Thank you, Nigel.
We'll talk to you later.
All right, see ya. Yeah, that kid he is up on his game. But so are we sometimes. But with that, we're going to take a...
What?
See what I mean? So we're going to slide into a commercial break, and we're going to be right back.
So you're saying it's time to play the commercials?
You see what I mean?
Okay.
See what I mean? Hey, you're listening to Jerry's Outdoor Show on KUPC 860 AM and 95.1 FM.
Well, what the hell we supposed to do, you moron?
The place where he was born and raised.
Sounds like a place to fish or baiting down at the bottoms. This is Randy Brewer from the Outback Bait and Tackle Shop. When you're ready to go fishing, to hit the river and local fishing holes, come and see me. I've been fishing our local areas for over 40 years. I'll be able to set you up with the right bait and tackle for our fishing holes in the area. I'll even throw in some of my experienced fishing advice. So before you head out to your fishing hole, come see me at the RB's Outback Bait and Tackle, located 16114 County Road X61 here in Muscatine. Call me at 563-506-0490. Sign says 9 to 5. Call anytime after. We'll get your bait.
Is your boat not starting well or running to its fullest potential? Have Nigel at Tailwater Marine take a look and have it running tip-top again. Conveniently located on Mississippi Drive, just south of downtown Muscatine, Tailwater Marine has years of experience and the skills to keep you worry-free on the water. Tailwater also carries towables, water toys, and accessories for your fun and safety on the water. Call Tailwater Marine, 563-264-BOAT. That's 563-264-2628.
Are you looking for a reliable taxidermist who does superior work? Here's taxidermist Shannon Spooner telling you in sign language why he's the best around. Oh, we forgot to mention, he's deaf. Deaf Guy Taxidermy in Clinton mounts every type of game imaginable, from deer and coyotes, fish and ducks, you name it, he can mount it. Text him, please. Don't call 563-613-4411 or send him an email to deafguytaxidermy@icloud.com. Deaf Guy Taxidermy, proud sponsor of Jerry's Outdoor Show. Listen on KWPC Friday mornings at 10 a.m. Shannon wishes he could.
And now back to more Jerry's Outdoor Show. If you've missed part of this episode or any other episode, what were you thinking? Give Jerry's Outdoor Show a like on Facebook. Listen to past episodes on iTunes, Podbean, and jerry'souttdoorshow.com.
Hey, Grandpa, can you hear me?
Yeah. Lottie, I hope Randy wasn't in there.
We was catching up on some...
It's on.
Am I on?
Yeah, you're on.
We were catching up on some baby stuff.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're not showing Lonnie how a C-section works, are you? You're like spinning it like a light bulb.
I didn't go in for that. I didn't go in for that part on my wife either. When they start, no, I don't need none of that. But anyway.
So, Grandpa Brewer.
got me another boy.
You did?
Good.
What was
well
the name?
deserved because, oh man, I'll tell you, raising 3 teenage girls all at the same age, darn near. You know, like now they're like 26, 25, and 23 or something.
What would you? What kind of thing would you say to the boys when they started coming around? I mean, would you try to scare them?
I've already said it many times.
But would you give them crap and all that?
It's about 38-inch barrel, yeah. It's got a lot of talking down that thing. But no, actually, Trevor. Yeah.
Yeah, I got
Not Travis, but Trevor.
Trevor.
He's a pretty good boy. So, and they had planned to get married next month anyway. So, and then of course, here comes another boy, but I'm happy.
Yeah.
He's got to raise it, and I get to play with it.
There you go.
And he's close enough to his other brothers, only a year and a half or right at that. So, yeah, these kids will be fun to watch here in about 10 years.
Yeah. A buckshot's a hoot. And,
Yeah, I just took Buckshot for brand new boots this morning. He got himself a brand new cowboy boot.
Awesome.
And I had to buy him a belt while he was there.
Yeah.
Because, you know, when them other little kids are important, number one, he's my oldest.
Yeah.
And you just got to let them other ones have something.
Yeah.
You know, and he just walking like high cotton when I took him to school. That's why I'm late, because I had to do all that too.
Is your name Randy Brewer? Yeah, I'm the principal. You need to come in here.
Yeah.
We need to talk about
They knew him. They knew him when we got there. He actually is a pretty gentle little guy at school.
Yeah.
I mean, he plays with the family a little different than what he does strangers, but that's the way kids are.
Right.
And she got sewed up, and she's in her room. She's with her baby and her mommy, and Dad gets to come out here and gloat a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, we just throw him in the pile.
What was the name? You tried to explain it to me on the phone.
He weighed right at.
Name.
I'm getting there.
Okay.
He weighed right at 9 pounds. I'm doing good to remember this part.
Yeah.
Brixton is what his name is.
Brixton.
Brickton is what his name is.
Brick
I
house
don't know if
brewer.
he's going to be a brickhead or what, but he come up crying, so I think he's going to be a farmer. You know, he's already crying, so he's got to be a farmer or cow puncher or horse rider or something.
He gonna fit right in at the bottom.
Yeah, he come out crying, so you know.
Welcome.
But anyway, I wanted to share that with everybody.
Well, welcome to the world. And
I was actually sitting outside listening to the show because of Nigel. He's actually where a good friend of mine had a boat shop back in the day, Butch Lang. And
I remember.
As far as them gas filters go, that water one with the gas we got nowadays is one of the smartest things you can put on your boat, because it actually is. The line comes in one side, and it's got just like an oil filter, but it keeps the water in and lets the gas go out. How the hell that happens, I don't know. They're both liquid, but it happens because of all the water you get now. And see, if you was to be dumb and not stabilize your gas, and then come next March, you fire it up, this thing's going to keep you from sucking all that water up from the bottom of your tank. And for $45, I think, is what it cost back then. That's just like that battery charger. That thing's only $20. Why not put one on there and save your batteries? Because I've done it. I just bought 3 new batteries this year because I didn't pull them out of my boat. And I didn't put my maintainers on like I normally do. It just slipped me, and I ended up paying, it's another $400 for 3 batteries. So.
I'll tell you another thing about batteries. If you can get it in where it's, fairly warm.
Right.
Put it on a piece of wood or something.
But when it gets down below 20 degrees, I mean, that battery don't stand a chance.
Yeah.
And you're right. Put it on a piece of cardboard or a 2x4.
Yeah, put it on some wood and get it in somewhere where it's kind of warm.
Right.
Well, the thing what we're talking about.
I don't take them to bed with me.
No, hell no.
Take care of the business.
Well,
now,
there was that one weekend, wasn't there?
Well, yeah, she got a little chargy, but pricey. Oh, that was chargy.
You had the jumper cables out and all.
Yeah.
So you had.
I've never seen your face turn red before.
It's not red. I'm just thinking of all. You just said you were sharing a woman with Nigel Phelps. Now you're sharing a woman with Randy Brewer.
I did not know.
Hey, Timmy gets around.
You go back and listen to that
means
replay.
me and Nigel pick pretty good girls.
There you go. Speaking of which, happy anniversary.
Oh yeah. It's my anniversary today too.
Yeah.
So I can't forget this kid's. Or this kid ain't gonna let me forget my anniversary. Put it that way.
There you go.
Instead of me remembering his birthday, I think he's going to remind me of.
Right. Yep. So with that, gentlemen, you'll see bags placed in front of you.
Bags?
Well, I decided to do something. If you want to open up the bags now and take a look. In honor of Arby's brand new grandson anniversary, I went out and got everybody's gifts.
Oh boy. Wow, that's nice, man. Thank you.
Man, that's great.
That is nice. Nice.
Yeah, you'll have to excuse the wrapping paper because I was so broke from buying the shirts that I had to go take some.
Well, when I seen Target bag, I thought, hell, we're right uptown now. I mean.
So anyway, that's a new line of merchandising coming out for Jerry's Outdoor Show.
Thank you.
I want to expand to that. I appreciate you guys being on the show all season long, helping me out. And plus, this will help out with the fish fry. Because I get so tired of everybody. Is that Randy Brewer? Is that one Randy Brewer? Which one's Randy Brewer? Is he Randy Brewer? Is he Randy Brewer?
He's the one with long sleeves.
I was going to say, my wife...
That's a lot of butt wipe right there, buddy.
My wife
what am I going to do with this long sleeve? I got 2 of them.
That's what I told my wife. I said, we should probably get Randy one with zippers on it. So if he wants it for fall, whatever.
Well, you know what it's like to be on the river and then Mother Nature calls.
I know.
Have you been there?
Oh, I've been there.
No, the trick is to that, cut the top of your sock off if you have to.
I just use the whole sock, put it on my hand, and peel it off like
The
a
whole
glove,
sock,
and put it on the other way.
Yeah, but the problem with your socks, it's only going to work 2 times. And if you had goulash last night like I did,
you're done.
And we talked about taking paint off the motor.
Right.
Take a look at the side of my boat on that one. There's only so many things you can cover with an RV's Outback sticker.
I got to get some bigger stickers.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll tell you about us. Do we got a time for a quick funny story?
It's got to be a funny story.
I was out on the river down at my sister's cabin one time, and I had to go. And I was way from the cabin, way down by the other lock and dam, past your house, Randy, and all that down there.
Yeah.
And hell, I had to go, so I thought, I'm going to pull over to this island. And I didn't even know the islands and all the chutes where I was down there, but I pulled over this island. I thought, okay. So I got off the boat, tied it off. No.
Tied what?
Way
The boat off.
Way south. So I got up on this island and I was doing my thing, and I'll tell you what, I got hit by about 1 million mosquitoes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God. I mean, and quick. And so if you can picture me trying to go and doing this bit too, trying to get the mosquitoes off me, and then I'm like, oh, they're getting me down there too. Hell, I got to get out of here. But I was never so bit up, and I bet I was up there for about 5 minutes.
Well, it doesn't come out fast when you got problems.
Well, it did when I started getting them bites. Yeah.
Right, but now you go home to your wife and wait, what's this monkey business going on down there? Is that on the river? And it was just like Randy Brewer telling me the story that he told his wife that you can get crabs from laying carpet.
You got to tear the old carpet out. Somebody's got to do it.
There's not that many gullible women in the world.
Did you use the 3-leaf plant to...
The 3-leafer?
I used my sock.
Yeah, don't use that 3-leaf plant.
No. Oh, boy, that'd be something, wouldn't it?
Oh, my goodness.
People's done her, though. But
I got the hell ate out of me with that.
He's still itching.
Well, I took a machete and I was cutting through some stuff that fell into the road one time, too, about in that time frame. And hell, I got all that all over my arms. Oh my God.
Poison ivy?
Yeah.
Well, Brewer wasn't a kid, and we stopped down Sunday night to discuss what was going on with the fish fry and all that. And brother, just standing out there, them mosquitoes will
they're
take
bad.
you down.
Yeah.
And you just got through mowing.
Yeah.
And
that's why they were so bad.
Oh yeah.
I mow, and I spray down, but then you got to spray real quick because they'll just eat you up. And this year, for some reason, they're huge.
Oh yeah.
And so I've went through a ton of money just spraying.
Right.
I got a 30-foot sprayer, and I just spray the whole park, keep right on driving.
Mm-hmm.
And the next time it rains, here they are right back again because they come down out of them trees.
Yeah, they're so large, they're built up from flying up from Florida.
Yeah.
Something like that. But anyway, hey, we didn't get a chance to talk to you because you were busy this morning, Randy. What's the Mississippi looking like? Cedar's way up.
She's coming up, yep.
She's coming up, too?
Yeah,
the Weather
supposed to
Service
stop
said
at
Cedar
12:03.
was coming up pretty quick again.
Oh,
You got it on your map there,
I'm
Tim?
going to look it up here real quick.
Because we was going to 12:03, and I think they moved that up some.
What's that say on there? nakedladies.com.
Let me close that real quick.
Hydrological is what.
This will take a minute.
Yeah.
But what I'm hearing is the Cedar's producing a lot of catfish this last week. Now, I know it's up now, but before it came up, it was putting out a lot of fish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in fact, I called you and your wife, and you was out fishing. And of course, when you call and he can't answer it, the next time he calls, well, I just had to set the hook on the big one. I couldn't answer the phone right now. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to tell you, Randy, the thing about Lonnie, and he's told me this 100 times, 35 and a half years working at the DOT, I will not answer
that
a phone.
I know.
I'm tired of answering the phone.
Yeah.
So.
That's the last thing he wants to do.
We should take some of your pigeons there and rehome them to Lonnie's, and then you guys can switch pigeons. You can write
there you go, write notes and
send them off.
So the Mississippi River at Muscatine right now is at 12.96 feet, or let's say 13.
See, that went up more than they said.
And Tuesday they're calling for 13.5, and then it's going to stay about that through Thursday or Friday next week.
The Cedar is plumb full.
Yeah, but it'll go right back down.
Right. Yeah, it'll go right back down. But yeah.
When they say the Cedar's going down, Tim.
Let me look that one up here.
I know I looked at it before I came to the show this morning, and it's about the same height as it was yesterday afternoon.
Right.
And
the Iowa River is the same way. It's really high.
Yeah.
Lake Odessa is putting out fish. And they're holding that for some reason. Instead of 4 foot of water, they got 9 foot in there, which is great for the people down there.
Where should I check Cedar at?
They
Conesville?
Water.
Yeah, just go to Conesville.
Okay, that's 13.7, and that's today. And it's going to kind of stay there. It'll go down a little bit Tuesday, but then by next Thursday it'll be up to 13.5.
So down there in Conesville, that's minor flood, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, minor. It says
range,
just minor.
It'll be over the islands.
Right. So and like we said, all summer long, there ain't no sandbars.
Nope.
Out there.
Nope.
Not submerged or not that you can see out there. So it's just going to be one of them patterns. I don't know what that does for your duck hunting. You have to
Actually, that
helps.
That helps me.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but you have to build a blind around your boat now, don't you?
Now I've got a blind at my property.
Oh yeah.
On my pond, and when they don't work the river,
right,
for the sandbars, then they'll work my area.
Okay.
Pretty well.
So what's next? They said teal's done. So what's next?
Next, October 1st is the mallard, wood duck, all species and goose season all opens October 1st.
Okay. So awesome.
You ever get any Canadians out there? Or?
Oh yes.
Oh yeah, they
How
come
about
up there.
blue and snow? You ever see many of them?
We're starting to see more and more fly this way, but I've never gotten into them, and I don't know personally.
The last few years, I've seen a ton of them between Grandview and Columbus Junction.
Yeah.
I don't know what's in them cornfields right in there, but they just loaded them up.
Yeah, they're following the Mississippi flyway, but what they eat compared to a Canadian will eat corn mostly. These things eat mollusks. The snow geese eat mollusks. They're usually from the prairie pothole region over into the Dakotas and over there, and they're used to eating mollusks and acorns, and they are extremely wild-tasting birds.
Nice.
And that's part of the reason why there's no limit on them. You can shoot as many of them as you want. That's no limit. You can use imitation calls. They even have a spring season on them. Starting in February and March. You can just hammer the hell out of them, or the heck out of them if you want to. And, they're just not as wanted as a Canadian is.
Nice.
As good eating, in my
So there you go. We found all the root boost about goose in Canadian. It's coming good. So anyway, hey, we got to slide out of here. It's 11 o'clock. Remember, the fish fry has been changed to froze. Same date, same time. Everything's good to go. We'll see y'all next week. Bye-bye,
You've
folks.
been listening to Jerry's Outdoor Show. Special thanks to Indian Creek Lure Company, the Sicilian Pizzeria Wilton, Mitchell Arms and Ammo, Pierce Custom Rods, Tailwater Marine, Deaf Guy Taxidermy, and RB's Outback Bait and Tackle. Tune in every Friday morning at 10 a.m. right here on AM 860, FM 95.1, KWPC, the voice of Muscatine.
Well, I love her, but I love to fish. I spend all day out on this lake, and hell is all I can.
We are so glad you came. Bye-bye. 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 Bye. Bye-bye. Remember, please discard all candy wrappers and popcorn containers in the nearest trash receptacle.